Hi, and welcome to today's American Association for Respiratory Care's Perspectives podcast, live from the AARC Congress in Orlando, Florida. Today we're here with President Dina Evans and Aerogen CEO John Power. Thanks to you both for joining us today to talk about Aerogen's support of the respiratory care students, future professionals, and the Sputum Bowl. Thanks for joining us. Dina, would you like to start?
Yeah, thanks for joining us this morning, John.
Of course.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Aerogen and how it began in the respiratory care space?
Sure. I mean, my background, I'm an engineer, design engineer, so I actually worked for 5 years. Part of my career, I worked in aerospace and robotics and different areas, but I worked for Puritan Bennett in Galway for 5 years, designing new ventilator platform, the 760, mainly for export markets. I just kind of fell in love with the whole ventilation, respiratory business because I like robotics, but I've never seen, when you work on a ventilator, really is combining the nearest join you'll get between a human and a man interface. You know, the ventilator's keeping the patient alive. So I loved that, and it was really at the end of it, the company PB wanted me to move to California, but I had 5 young kids, and so it wasn't on the cards. So I set up my own business, and thankfully got a lot of work from Puritan Bennett back in those days on contract design. But what I'd recognised was there was whereas all the companies, you know, on the ventilator market spend tens of millions developing life support vents. They are pretty complex pieces of kit, as everybody knows, and some of the most sophisticated pieces of kit in the hospital. But nobody had really looked at the drug delivery side. And so when I thought about it, I thought if you're in an ICU anywhere on the world on a ventilator, the 3 things will determine your outcomes. Number 1 going to be the caregivers. Number 2 is going to be how you interface with the ventilator. And number 3 is the drug regime. And really using jet nebulizers that deliver 1 or 2% of what you put into the drug you're delivering is just, to an engineer, that's gross inefficiency, right? So for me, it was a problem there, and I decided I'd try and find a solution. I never realized where it would bring me or where the company would go to from that. It was just my normal thing. Engineers see a problem, you've got to try and fix it. It's just, that's the history of it, really. And yeah.
And we're glad you did. We're glad you did. So moving on to the AARC, we deeply appreciate your support of the Sputum Bowl this year. Why is that event important to Aerogen?
Yeah, the Sputum Bowl. I remember Jim Fink, a fellow of AARC, bring me to my first Sputum Bowl over 20 years ago. What am I saying? It must be coming on for nearly 30 years ago. And I just thought it was great. Enthusiasm, everybody in there, great tension around the questions and the answers. And I would say it was a great event. And I thought, you know, this is a wonderful, and now that it's all the younger the RTs in training, it's even more, I think. You know, it used to be the adult, the older guys are at it as well, but now it's for the students, and it's really, I just get a good buzz from it. I'm afraid I won't be there tonight because I've got to go to a meeting in New York en route back to Ireland, but Brant Nave, our manager from America, will be there for us. So, yeah.
I'm going to miss you there. It's such a fun event.
It is.
I'm a former student.
Oh, there you go. You got that in.
Champion, right?
I was a state champion. That's true. Last year, Aerogen was so generous in providing a trip to Ireland for the winners of the Sputum Bowl. Can you tell us how many students went and what that experience was like and why you decided to do that?
Yeah, well, I guess why we decided to do it, it was on the spur of the moment, as usual with me. In the middle of the excitement of the Sputum Bowl, everyone was going in, and I thought, you know, last year Aerogen were 25 years. from when I founded the business. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice to get these students out to Ireland and show them a good time out there and show them around Aerogen and our labs and our manufacturing. And so, yeah, it was all spur of the moment, nothing planned. And so I just said it to Daniel, I think, look, tell the guys up there, we'll bring the winners for a trip to Ireland.
We were all shocked.
Yeah.
Like in a great way.
No, it's not. It was. I was, and I mean, they were delighted. I met them then. They came to our offices in Galway, and we had a lovely time. Poor young. They wouldn't be going there. They wouldn't have had the money to be going. I'd say if it wasn't really for the prize. So it's great.
What do you think the highlight of that trip was?
Well, for me, I wasn't with them all the time, so I met them when they came into our main office, but they've been down to our manufacturing plant in Shannon, which is pretty spectacular in terms of automation. We've got two large automation cells down there where we make the product. Hardly any human touch on the product at all. It's all fully automated robotics vision system. So I think for anyone who's got a scientific bend, like these people, they'd have been really impressed and enjoyed that, I think.
Yeah. Sounds really cool. I'm a little jealous, John. So I know you're going to miss this evening's event, but what are you most excited about tonight's event?
Oh, well, I'm just delighted again to help out for the, again, with the Sputum Bowl, Aerogen sponsoring it, that wasn't something we had ever planned to do as such. But I know when we were asked last year and there was a gap there to someone to take it on, so we stepped into the breach, if you like. So I'm just happy to do it again this year. It went down so well last year, and we've decided to again offer the winners the trip to Ireland. So yeah. So now you'll have to reapply to go into it.
Yes. I don't think they're going to let me back into RT school.
Oh, you could keep them.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for that, and we're so grateful that Aerogen is so generous and so doing the Sputum Bowl. It's one of the most fun things we do all week, and everyone loves it. The students go wild for it. So thank you for that. We're very grateful. But let's talk about Aerogen. So we're so excited about that technology as well. What does Aerogen have on the horizon?
Well, one of the things we don't talk a lot about it, but Aerogen is a bit unusual as a company. It's a private company. We're not on the stock market, so we're not paying out dividends or anything. So for the past 12 years of the company's life, all the profits the company made have been reinvested back into research, development, and clinical work. So it's very unusual. You don't see that much in the corporate world. And we've reinvested about 70 million into inhaled surfactant for prim babies. So that is we finished our phase 2B trial in America there earlier this year, and we're going to start our pivotal trial hopefully the end of Q1 in the States. So, well, yeah, that's kept me at it. I'll tell you, it's very complex because surfactant is an incredibly difficult drug to aerosolize. Yes, that's right, and it's got very strange surface tension properties. So we had to develop a next generation of core technology to be able to aerosolize it. But we've done that. The phase 2B trials were outstanding. I think we had over 40% reduction in the need to intubate. So this could be a massive step in neonatology. So that's what really drives me every day. I kind of, it's wonderful. Aerogen products now are available, I think, 80 countries around the world. As of this year, over 20 million acute care patients will have been treated using our products. So as one of the guys said to me last night, said there's probably a lot of people walking around today that extra bit of help with our technology probably got them through.
So the first time I saw an Aerogen, very, very different than anything I've ever seen.
No, it was a complete engineering step change than anything that was there yet.
really incredible. What do you think that AARC members should know about Aerogen and the mission?
Well, I think not that we would normally be spouting it, but as I just said, we're very unusual in that all the profits from the business go back into clinical research in the company and R&D. So that's the way I've set it up, and that's the way it runs. And that to me ensures long-lasting leadership in our field, and I guess that is the unusual thing. We're not a not-for-profits organisation, but we're certainly reinvest everything we earn from the business. So any hospital that uses our equipment, whatever they're paying for it, that money does see its way back into clinical research. Yeah.
It's really incredible. Yeah. I think you see that with the innovations you guys have made over the years.
Yeah, well, you've got to keep investing in research and technology. You can't stand still. We have some very nice new products that will come out. Other than the surfactant program, who knows? Clinical programs in pharmaceutics are not easy, and they're very difficult because you don't know until the very end of the final trial, and inside this binary, it's either a 1 or a 0. But I mean, we do have other products on the engineering side that will be coming through in the next year, which I think will be exciting.
Oh, a spoiler. Yeah. I'm excited to see what comes next.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our members?
No, I just like last night we had our annual Irish night. It's become a big thing. We started it, I think it must be 20 years ago, near enough, in Las Vegas in New York. The hotel, there's a bar there called the Nine Fine Irishmen. I said, wouldn't it be a bit of fun to gather a group of the companies we were working with? And there was only a handful of us in the company at the time. I was on the road always, myself and 1 or 2 of the other guys. And we said, wouldn't it be nice to get a few people together? And there was a guy I knew who was in Vegas who played Irish music, the fiddle and sung, and what. I said, we'll have a bit of a party. So we ended up with about 40 of us, and I think last year there was about 600 people turned up with the party. It's become a huge thing. It's right, we can't find a place big enough now to hold it, So it's but it's great. I love it, and we invite everybody. The people from all the companies and the businesses here, and the students and parties and docs, and it's just a great kind of get together of everybody, So, yeah.
Thank you. Truly, thank you for everything your company is doing for pulmonary patients, and thank you for your support of AARC.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks, John and Dina, for joining us today and discussing Aerogen and your support of our organization. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Awesome. That was so great.
It's a wrap.